Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Monday, April 26th, 2021. Go over some of the top headlines that we missed this weekend and what's in the news today. You can see CNN's big story right now is the Supreme Court to take up key gun case. Back in March, they reported that the Supreme Court might do this. That was right after the grocery store shooting. And now today, April 26th, they say that they will do it. But they still haven't set the date. They said in the next Supreme Court term, so I'll have to look into when that can be. All I can think about this announcement that they're going to do this today on the 116th day of the year. Today's April 26th. The word country is 116. And again, are they signaling there's going to be a big change with gun laws for the nation? We will see. Remember, at the beginning of the year, Biden said there will be gun reform, and then Merrick Garland, when he was getting sworn in as Attorney General, he said there will be gun reform. Apparently, we're getting new mask guidance tomorrow. Are we going back to 2 masks? Okay, and then just other racial bait stuff they have on here, up on the front page this morning. Your doctor has 2 choices, black or other, and that determines how you're treated. Well, what's funny is they do this, just look, when it gives you the drop-down menu, you can see it right there, white, black, other. Again, it should be, I suppose it should be more specific, Asian, Hispanic, the other groups of the world, but just right there, you can just see it's a blatant lie. It says your doctor has 2 choices, black or other, and then it's like, wait a minute, white, black, other. Okay, who made that crap news story? Anyway, story that definitely got my attention were the 6 attacks at the 4 synagogues over the weekend, and the majority of the attacks supposedly came Saturday, which is the day of Jewish worship at the synagogue. But the 6 attacks at 4 synagogues stood out right away because words like Israel and Zion have Gematria 64. If you write out the phrase synagogue of Satan, it also has the Gematria of 64, which is interesting. Those are the false Jews in Revelation. But more importantly than that is Saturday was April 24th, which was the 114th day of the year. And synagogue is 114. You have these synagogue attacks on the weekend where the Saturday fell on the 114th day of the year, the day of worship in the synagogue. And at the same time, if you run the alphabetic order in reverse, from Pope Francis's birthday to that Saturday was his 129th day of his age, and synagogue is 129 in reverse. So on the 114th day of the year, on the 129th day of the Pope's age, you get these attacks on New York synagogues. And again, the Jesuits, the divide and conquer gang, the gang keeping everybody fighting amongst themselves, provoking each other, just stirring the pot by the numbers day after day. And as we talked about before, words like America equal 129 in Jewish gematria, and United States of America equals 929 in Jewish gematria, like there's 929 chapters in the Old Testament, the Jewish section of the Bible. So what a day, or what a weekend as well for synagogue attacks, but the majority of them on the Saturday that syncs with the Pope and the calendar. And of course, the calendar comes from the Catholic Church, just like the language. And don't forget who the Jesuits are. They're Jews who converted to Catholicism, who started the order, who brought with it the knowledge of Gematria and Kabbalah, which is Jewish from the get. I did notice that from Arturo Sosa's birthday, the Superior General of the Jesuits, to Saturday, April 24th was 163 days later, which is the 38th prime. Jew is 38, Kabbalah is 38. They said this happened in the Bronx. Bronx has the gematria like Israel and Zion. And if it happened, or since the majority of the attacks were on 424, 4 plus 24 is also 28. But really, it's how it lined up with Saturday. And so a Chaban Lubavitch of Riverdale was attacked. Riverdale Jewish Center attacked. This must be close to the Riverdale Church of New York, where Martin Luther King Jr. gave his speech April 4th, 1967, only to be attacked 1 year later to the day. Young Israel of Riverdale and Conservative Synagogue Adath Israel of Riverdale. So everything was in this Riverdale area, as you can clearly see. Again, that does remind me of Martin Luther King Jr., who ended up getting assassinated in a clear Jesuit ritual, killed on the 95th day of 1968, 1 year to the day of his speech coming out against the military when the Jesuits considered themselves a military order, and they were created to counter the 95 Theses and recognized by Rome on the day leaving 95 days left in the year. And again, Martin Luther was the leader of the Protestant Reformation. MLK assumed the name Martin Luther in tribute and ended up being assassinated on the 95th day of 1968, the year the Club of Rome was established. So, I suppose one thing I didn't check was the gematria of Riverdale, and I will do that just out of curiosity right now, since everything was in the Riverdale area. Riverdale. It's got the 94 like Roman Catholic Church. It's got the 59 like Pope Francis, who it's synced with. It's got the 149 like Skull and Bones, which again relates to the Knights Templar, which also relates back to Rome. But I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode. It's buzzing. Anyway, yeah, I don't think this is any accident at all. I just think it's more Jesuit divide and conquer tactics by the numbers. And with that said, by the numbers, in the news today, the Andrew Brown Jr. police shooting video is supposed to be released. Remember, this is the shooting that happened on Queen Elizabeth's birthday in Elizabeth City. And as we talked about, Andrew Brown has the same gematria as royal family in all 4 base ciphers. Andrew Brown, royal family, exact match in all 4 ciphers. Again, Elizabeth City on the day of Queen Elizabeth's birthday. Okay. But here's what all stands out. Today is April 26th. And remember, the George Floyd video of his killing was released May 26th, the day after Memorial Day. They said it happened on Memorial Day, but the video was released on the 26th. That's the day that, the violence broke out in Minneapolis. But here we are on the 26th again, 11 months later. Remember, the word black is 11. In terms of 26, videos 26, so is Riot, so is Chaos, so is Floyd, so is Crump, so is Queen. This killing on the on the Queen's birthday. And Benjamin Crump is the lawyer for the family again. Benjamin Lump, who's the lawyer for all of these televised, racially charged shootings. The actor lawyer finally got his first win with the Floyd case. He's lost all his other cases. But then today also has the 71 date numerology, just like May 26, 2020. African American 71. The name Crump is also 71. And again, just 11 months later, they're saying they're going to play the tape at 11:30 a.m. And right now we also have the Isaiah Brown shooting in the news. They already gave us the video of that one, but Isaiah Brown got the 56 in the most pure cipher, just like Andrew Brown, just like Black Lives Matter. Just the familiar patterns. So we'll see what happens. They're saying that in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, a state of emergency has been declared ahead of the release of the footage in case the same thing happens from a year ago. And again, all this stuff is just such bait. It's such obvious ritual too. I mean, Elizabeth City on Queen Elizabeth's birthday. In the world of celebrity and entertainment, former UK football player, now reality TV star Ashley Cain announced on Saturday, April 24th, the death of his 8-month-old child, Azalea. And look how sick this is. It even mentions right in the article that the baby was born August 10th, 2020. Look at this. The child died on the 114th day of the year, right? Azalea equals 114. And notice Ashley Cain has that 56 in it, that big Jesuit number that 56 is, the Society of Jesus. Notice what day his birthday is, Ashley Cain, September 27th, the day in history the Jesuits were recognized by Rome. And he turned 30 on September 27th, 2020. From that day to the death of his child was his 30th week of being 30 years old. And look at Azalea with the most pure cipher, 30. And again, this is why the base ciphers are undeniable. If I would have gave you this presentation in 2013, all I would have seen was the 30 part of the ritual. That's why when we went back and looked at our old research in reverse, once we learned that cipher, we said, man, look at the way all this stuff lines up. So on the 114th day of the year, on the 30th week of him being 30 years old, his child dies. And that's not all. We just talked about this same pattern with Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen's child just died in a clear ritual on the day, leaving 257 days left in the year. From this child's birthday to their death, 257 days later, and blood sacrifice equals 257. Remember, 257 is the 55th prime and Satan's 55. In this case, they said the child died from a form of leukemia known as AML. AML's 55. Scottie Pippen was 55 when he lost his son on the day, leaving 257 days left in the year. If you missed that work, go back and check it out. Huge ritual. First day of Taurus, the bull. Scottie Pippen, the bull. But this child dead from AML supposedly 257 days after their birthday. And is that really what happened? It doesn't look like it. Looks like it's another planned ritual sacrifice for a celebrity. And it seems clear that a lot of these celebrities are involved in, ritualistic marriages, ritualistic birthing, ritualistic sacrifice of their children. We've talked about this so many times. John Legend had one recently. Also, the day the child died was a date with 49 numerology. Leukemia's got the 49. When you write out 8, it's 49. They mentioned right in the article that the child was 8 months old. So, a lot of 49 showing up, DMX and beyond. So, says it was posted to social media on Saturday. Died on Saturday after battling a rare aggressive cancer. She was 8 months old. And by the way, Azalea also had the 42 in the name. In that same cipher, Saturn is 42. And of course, Saturday is named after Saturn, and Saturday is named after Saturn, and Saturn's associated with time. It's also associated with judgment and death. And with regards to Saturn being 93 and this guy being somewhat of an actor, this was the weekend of the 93rd Academy Awards too. And that probably factors in with the death of football player Mike Davis, who played for the Raiders. He reportedly died yesterday, the day of the 93rd Academies. His name, Mike Davis, in the most simple cipher is 93. But with regards to being a Raider, he died on the 115th day of the year, and Raiders is 115. Do a lot of rituals with the Raiders in 115. Last year, the Raiders moved to Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Raiders became the only team in the league having 101 Gematria. It was the 101st NFL season, their debut. The day they played their first home game in Vegas was the day leaving 101 days left in the year, and they won that day. They upset the Saints, and for the week, home teams became 11-5, and Raiders had the last game of that week, the Monday Night Football game at home against the Saints. And we saw before the game, we said, Raiders win tonight and upset the Saints. The home teams will be 11-5 for the week. Seems like a perfect debut for the Raiders in Nevada. Oh, by the way, Nevada's also 115. So, again, that's the beauty of this knowledge, is how you can see through so many things, including the rigged outcome of sports. By the way, you could have got rich last night on the Dodgers. The Dodgers were down huge, and they came back and won. And what did I talk about early in my live stream yesterday? The day before, I said Padres fell to 7-3 away against the Dodgers. 7-3, always hitting with the Dodgers. Always, always, always. The Dodgers gave up a huge lead last night to fall to 7-3 at home. Just same patterns day after day. Back-to-back winners, easy money. Los Angeles Dodgers 73. If you did a real-time bet on the Dodgers to lose while they were up 7-1 yesterday, that paid a fortune. But again, just the patterns are so persistent from the news to sports. And again, yesterday's live stream before that Dodgers game was played, gave you a bit free whopper of a clue. I said Padres fall to 7-3 against the Dodgers. We're always educating about the Dodgers and 73 rituals. Later that same day, Dodgers 7-3 at home. And also falling to 15-7 seemed like a no-brainer because that's the 37th prime. Los Angeles is 37. Remember, Bryant's 37. Kobe Bryant's 157. Dead in Los Angeles on his 157th day of his age. Again, it's all ritual. It's all patterns. And on the field to off the field. So, talking about rituals on the field with the Raiders in 115. Now a former Raiders dead on the 115th day of the year. And, by the way, words like killing and Masonic also have the 115. He died 137 days before the opening game of the NFL on September 9th, 9/9 kickoff day for this 102nd season. In satanic gematria, NFL's 137, so that's probably not an accident either. And I swear, every year in the offseason, I feel like the most likely players to die are former Raiders. Seems to go on every year in the offseason. It's like other players from other teams will die, but it seems like Raiders get the worst of it. There's got to be a reason for that. And also at the 93rd Academy Awards, Chloe Zhao, she got all the praise. Best Director, first Asian woman to win Best Director, just like all the themes with Asians right now. But again, the 93rd Academy Awards, and Chloe Zhao's 93. And same, not to mention she's 39 years old right now, the reflection of 93. And then Nomadland cleaned up again, just like it did at the Golden Globes. But remember, the Nomadland film lost one of its crew members. And just to go back over this story, the sound mixer Michael Wolf Snyder, dead at 35. Pandemic may have triggered suicide. They said that, if you read the article, they said he was suffering from depression. He was the sound mixer, having the same Gematria's depression. It was the 78th Golden Globes. Nomadland cleaned up there, and then it cleaned up at the 93rd Academies too. But both have the 78 connection, Jesuit Nomadland. And, the Jesuits also have that 56 connection. And then coronavirus factored in, to his depression. News came on a Sunday. He had the name Gematria going with the Jesuit motto. And again, just dead at 35. Big Catholic number. News came on March 7th. 7/3 sacrifice date. 73 is also the 21st prime. Jesuit and Saturn both got the 21 connection. And again, Saturn has the 93 connection as well, connected to death and time. And now at the 93rd Academies, it also cleans up. But yeah, just again, same stuff. Award show after award show. You just see how planned it all is, how just synced up it all is. And it's a reminder, what have I been saying the whole time? The same people who control your government are the same people who control your news, are the same people that control your Hollywood movie studios, your sports leagues, and they just put it all together systematically. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. The racism starts in Georgia. An Asian wins the Masters in Georgia right after. Asian wins, Academy Awards. It's so obvious. I mean, you got to be brain dead to not see what goes on day after day. And sadly, we realize people are. People are brain dead. They can't put two and two together. They can't see the obvious. They can't see how they're lied to and mocked every single day. And on a different note, but very relevant to the times, somebody sent me this article yesterday and said, had you seen this one before with Bill Gates? And actually, I had not. But this article was written February 18th, 2017. The remarks were actually given February 17th, 2017. You can read the full speech right here that Bill Gates gave at the Munich Security Conference. But February 17th, 2017 was the day. And what's interesting about this is from his birthday to February 17th was his 113th day of his age. And again, coronavirus pandemic 113 declared on March 11th, 11/3. Coronavirus pandemic is also 94 when you run it the other way. Munich is 94. You might recall his decade of vaccines was declared on his 94th day of his age. But the thing is, if you listen to what he said in the not so distant future that he sees, bioterrorism where it could come in the form of a super contagious and deadly strain of the flu. And that's essentially what they're saying coronavirus is, a more deadly strain of the flu. Again, when coronavirus was coined in 68, and by the way, Munich also equals 68, just like terror 68, 94. And there was terror at the Munich Olympics back in the day, but why did I just lose my train of thought? bioweapons, the flu. Oh, yeah. Again, coronavirus was coined in 68. When it was coined in 68, it was coined as essentially the seasonal cold flu, like the same type of thing. But, he gave this speech in Munich on his 113th day of his age, saying in the not so distant future there could be. And remember, at the start of the pandemic, there were all the rumors that China unleashed it. All this speculation. Some government officials saying, blame China. China did this. This is to take down Trump. This is to take down the U.S. So there was conversations like that. But again, just what are the odds that he gave this speech on his 113th day of his age? And that means the news came out the next day, February 18th, which was 113 days after his birthday. But again, I just don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's just all part of the planned script that we're leaving out. He added, it's hard to get your mind around a catastrophe of that scale, but it happened not that long ago. In 1918, again, that's the year of Spanish flu, and this thing we're living out now has been compared. Yeah, so most of the things we need to do to protect against a naturally occurring pandemic are the same things we must prepare for in an international biological attack. So, yeah, that's another one there for Bill. So, Bill Gates' remarks on bioterrorism, February 17, 2017 in Munich, if you're trying to look it up. And did that on the 48th day of the year. It's Jordan's birthday. But, again, 48's a special number. It's Illuminati number, Freemason number, 48 laws of power. The Jesuits and the Illuminati, one and the same. So, if you're Jewish in New York and trying to solve this crime spree, I'd stop by Fordham, the Jesuit University. There might be a few people there who know a thing or two. But, yeah. The divide and conquer gang. The Jesuits all day, every day. And with that said, True Seeker, I'm going to make some breakfast, and I am going to be out on my Twitch channel. If you're not following me on Twitch, again, the website twitch.tv, I will be out there in about an hour and a half. And but the way you go is when you get to twitch.tv, you just search Gematria, and that Gematria Effect News channel is mine. And again, when you come here, I think when I'm actually live, I think right here, like instead of whoever's video this is, I think when I broadcast, it'll just be playing right here. And then when I'm done, it'll come down as the latest video. So I guess I should set up a channel trailer. I guess that's something to do. And then that would probably show up right here once I do it. So I'll do that in the near future. But yeah, I'm going to be out there at 11 a.m. Well, I'll probably get out there a little before 11 a.m. But again, today I'm hoping Michael's going to show up. Michael has left me hanging 2 times now, but he does have all of his paperwork. And if he shows up, we'll take him to the DMV. We'll get him an ID. Try to give him some confidence. See if we can help him out some other ways. But he says he doesn't want to be homeless. He doesn't want to be addicted to Percocets. He wants to get a job. And right now he's sad because his lady was staying with him on the streets, but she's not. And I was wondering, I was like, how long is she going to do that for? How long is she going to stay homeless to support him? But I think it's probably good that she's not, because then that's motivation for him to get off the streets. So anyway, he said if we make the window between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., he knows he can be there on Monday. So I'll get out there a little before 11 today, and we'll see if I need to stay until 2 p.m. But hopefully he does show up in that window. And like I said, he's a homeless, troubled teenager with a drug addiction problem. And again, he grew up without a family, like a lot of homeless people. I mean, you start meeting homeless children, you start to realize a lot of them didn't really have a family. That is a common denominator. They become drug addicts. Common denominator. They got all sorts of behavioral problems. Common denominator. But at the same time, it's like there has to be people in society who are going to have patience for them and help them get on the better path. Otherwise, what they're going to be doing is living on the streets and committing petty crime and breaking into shops to get things so they can trade it for drugs. And ultimately, that's bad for society. Like I said, if we can end up inspiring people to help out in this cause, we can get some land, get buildings, have a place for homeless people to stay, shower, clean up, a community to contribute to. Just imagine if all the homeless, and I get this is a pipe dream in a way, you wouldn't get all of them, but you could get some to help out and live in a facility like this, grow food, help have food for the community instead of stealing from the community. Now they've been given a purpose and they're giving something back to the community. So we're in the baby steps of building this Signs Matter campaign. I have realized that just giving money to homeless people in the streets is not a very smart thing because the majority of them are drug addicts, and that's exactly where the money will go to. But still, creating a way to help them is the goal. And I realize it's probably not putting money in their hand. In some cases, that might be okay. I do think that the money I gave to Michael the other week, when I did see him next, his clothes did look a lot cleaner. So I think he spent at least some of the money on cleaning his clothes, but I'd imagine some did go towards drugs too. And that's not exactly what we want to support. But anyway, I'll be back out there today, and hopefully we write a new chapter with Michael. And in case he doesn't, I'll still be out there getting out the word about big agendas. So either way, it should be productive. And with that said, I'm going to make Sweet Lady some breakfast. She's got her big exam today, and if she passes, she's pretty much done for the semester. So, all right, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Have a great rest of your day, and join me on Twitch TV if you feel like it in a little bit. Oh. Also, one more thing before I go. I got these in the mail. Well, hold on. I shouldn't say I got them in the mail. Well, they did. They came in the mail. But these might just look like Cheetos and gummies. Thank you so much, Angel. I'm excited to try these. But, yeah, these are special kind of Cheetos. I didn't even know that they made, cannabis-infused Cheetos. But I find it funny because I'm always talking about how people are so obsessed with their Cheetos. But I did get your package. Thank you very much, Angel. And shout out to Bobby, too. Last week when I was in Spokane, Bobby got me some chocolates and some... I'm not exactly sure what these are. They're like... they're fruity things, but yeah, they're all cannabis infused. So anyway, I appreciate all the nice gifts from the people who've sent them. And again, just want to make sure, Angel, next time you send something like that, you feel free to send cheaper postage. I really appreciate the effort, but your postage was expensive. I was like, wow. So thank you so much. And or maybe you sent it fast because you were worried. But just for the record, your stuff, you can't smell it at all. There's no odor, so nobody would have noticed that there was anything in those packages. But yeah, anyway, I do appreciate it and wanted to say thank you. And again, thank you to everyone else who sent a letter too. So we'll leave it there. Breakfast time and then some pavement pounding. Until next time.